Take that!
This autograph and our mysterious letter, if we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure. I'm sorry. I did it. It was me causing trouble again. I admit it. You hit the nail on the head, Edgy. So he finally confesses. I saw the pink princess being carried around in a stretcher and got worried, all right. I wanted to go to Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in. What choice did I have? It was the chimney or bust, Edgy. Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney? That's a criminally overactive imagination. At least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be so shocked when I came down through the chimney. Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying such sentiment. I'm really, really sorry. Larry, you may be a shameful, good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me, because at the very least I can attest that about you. Edgy, you're... We've lost a lot of valuable time because of you! Ow! In any case, I believe we can say we now know exactly what happened. Lally Bat sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, but to enter the room as the elderly lady next door. Great job, Mr. Prosecutor, although I still find it a bit unbelievable that the two of you are friends. But the suspicion on that guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay? Ow! What? Edgy, what does the Wolfman mean when he says I'm not off the hook yet? He means the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head. That's exactly what I mean. We can only rely on the words of the suspect after all. We may have figured out where he was and what he was doing all night, but the blood-stained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene, as long as there's no satisfactory explanation for that, this wolf will refuse to ease up his bite. Oh! Edgy, that guy looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me. I'm well aware, and you should be as well, that this upcoming battle will be crucial. Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely bumbler, I've been able to deal a very nice hand and a sweet trump card. Looks like we're about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you've got. I can easily point out the contradiction in the supposed murder weapon, but the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. This will be a high-stakes gamble, but it's one game I can't afford to lose. I was the one who found the body and the victim damask too. Besides, it was him and the samurai sword glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect Larry Butts, in here too. Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership? This owner wanted to sneak onto the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on, don't you? If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we already established this. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are long-time friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate this evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence. You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors. Come on, I can't think of something as complicated as that, right, Edgy? Larry, I can agree because we know you and your personality well. Agent Lang, however, knows nothing about you, or me for that matter. a senseless hatred of my entire profession emanating from his entire being, meaning the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence.
Hold it!
So you were the first to discover the body this time?
This time? What's that supposed to mean? You better watch what you say.
I only said this time because earlier Kay was the first to discover the body in Babadal. And your secretary, Agent Sheena, was ready to accuse her of murder for that.
So you're going to use that excuse to call me suspicious now?
Of course not. I was simply pointing out the usual pattern with discoverers of bodies.
In the Babaharashi case, well, there was proof she was holding the weapon, right? In this one, it's a bit different since we know exactly where the weapon is.
Hold it!
Excuse me, but glistening red and offering up the scent of blood?
Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. According to the test, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made only to be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it's pretty weighty, and certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect the victim was beaten to death with the sword.
Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. I mean, the victim was bludgeoned, so I don't see the problem.
Hold it!
About this samurai sword, have you received a report from forensics yet?
They confirm the blood on the sword belongs to the victim.
Have they confirmed the outline of the wound is consistent with the weapon?
Tell me something. Do you see the dead body right there in front of you? If they were conducting the autopsy right now, shouldn't that body not be here? Well,
I suppose so. Guess they must still be investigating this room. I mean, it's possible he doesn't know about that piece of evidence's true nature.
anything else you'd like to chit-chat about? No? Good. Let's continue.
Hold it!
Larry already testified he forgot the samurai sword here.
I was shaking hands with the ambassador in here and left it here by accident.
So what? You lied earlier? Who's to say this excuse isn't another lie?
I forgot stuff all the time, right, Edgy? Tell him.
Why don't you tell him yourself?
You see? What did I tell you earlier? No one buys such a pathetically weak excuse.
Yes, well, I know it's not possible to prove an excuse as the truth.
And yet you offer it as fact? You're a worse person than I originally thought.
You're free to think what you like, however I know Larry's not the killer. Agent Lang, please continue with your argument and expose the flaw soon enough.
Hold it!
Just because he's the owner of the weapon, therefore he must be the killer, is that it?
No, climbing all the way to the chimney's plenty suspicious in my book as well.
Regarding that, I've already drawn the truth out, and the truth is one thing I don't bend.
It doesn't matter if it's you or whoever, the prosecutor's all the same. As for me, prosecutors are the one thing I don't trust in. An agent doesn't trust prosecutors? What are you playing at? Sorry, sis. These are the only two things I trust. My subordinates and evidence at the crime scene.
Agent Lang hates prosecutors. As long as he trusts evidence that's been left at the crime scene, there is something I can show him that he'll believe in.
Simply not possible the samurai swords the real murder weapon. Let's focus on proving that point to Lang first. Move during the murder.
Objection!
Didn't think that would work. See, there's a very big flaw in your logic. Flaw? Are you sure it's not your eyes that are flawed? Talk to me again when you can see straight. Maybe this wasn't the piece I was looking for after all. I mean, the blood is more consistent with a stab wound than a beating, so...
Objection!
Nope, never mind. That thing has nothing to do with what I was saying, now put it away! And your logic's so bad you need a repair, you might as well throw it out too! That's the real deal here. Your courtroom mannerisms are worthless at a crime scene. You dare insult the courts? So, is it the spear?
Objection!
Stop overthinking it and go with your fucking gut for once. Ugh. You know what this is, Agent Lang? It's a long spear, right? We used it a lot in my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down, spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think the whip is a slightly different category. What's your point? You gonna tell me the spear's the real weapon? No, I simply want to take a look at this section here. The way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently a certain troublemaker hit it against the wall in this embassy earlier. As you can clearly see, the insides of the steel samurai's weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow. Okay, I see where they're going. Let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet there's not even a dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the sword and the spear are made of the same stuff. They bend easy. I wish they'd make them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move. Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing that in the show.
Steel Samurai's special move was changed tonight because of him?
Ouch!
That's more enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back to the topic of the spear.
Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se, so all I can do now is let the chips fall where they may.
Using guesswork and taking risks in the place of real logic is hardly the Van Karma way. It's neither smart nor clever.
Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it's for the best if it remains unbroken, for no one should have conceived the notion of convict all defendants in the first place.
Objection!
But a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure Aussie defendants are found guilty in court. There's nothing more important in this field than the perfect unity.
That may be your opinion, however, I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not perfect victory, but perfect truth. If that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, let it crumble as I walk towards the truth.
Oh, you're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire.
I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility the sword was used in such a way the attack killed the mask too without bending it. What do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here and what you need.
Of course, what I need is evidence he can't refute. This is it. Time to bring this to a close.
It's possible to use a samurai sword to kill someone, and under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. Isn't it only natural suspicion would fall on the owner of said weapon?
How long do you intend to cling on to that preposterous theory?
As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of the embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned, and we managed to come with only one logical conclusion. The only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on its sword.
You left no stone unturned, is that a fact?
Not so fast!
If you've got something to say, then say it the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you.
Hold it!
May I inquire as to how you're able to make such a claim, Agent Lang?
Langzi says, capable of miracles beyond comprehension, a mysterious creature is man.
Rather than man, it's Agent Lang's quotes that are going to increase in the incomprehensible.
The human body's a mysterious thing. Even with a toy-like sword, it's easy to kill a man if you hit just the right spot. Which is why I think it's possible to kill with this thing without leaving a
Hold
dent.
it!
We can only be sure one way or the other by seeing if the wound matches the sword.
I know that, but as long as it's a possibility, I can proclaim it as much as I'd like.
Hold it!
But you must know your conclusion is wrong.
Given the circumstance I'm in, the only people I can trust are my subordinates, because they're a much more trustworthy bunch than you prosecutors will ever be.
And you call yourself a professional?
You still don't see, do you, Mr. Prosecutor? You have to earn my trust. And the only way to do that is to show me proof of another possible murder weapon.
Another possible weapon? In this room there's only one other thing left. This is going to be a gamble, but I can't withdraw from the game now.
You're not going to get me to trust you by the power of your glare alone, you know. I have other reasons to why I think the samurai sword is the murder weapon.
Hold it!
The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword?
That's right, even with luminol. Which means there's no other possibilities outside what I've already outlined.
Do I have a problem with Lang's hesitation the samurai sword is the weapon?
Not yet.
Perhaps I just waited to see how this plays out for a bit longer. Agent Lang, if you could be so kind as to continue your testimony.
Hold it!
And what if you were to find a different murder weapon? Would that clear Larry's name?
Are you saying you can prove the possibility?
Of course. If you don't believe I can, I'll show you something to convince you. Evidence you can't refute.
Sounds like fun, Mr. Prosecutor. Alright then, go ahead and show me what you've got.
I can prove to you the possibility the murder weapon is something else. But I can't do so on my strength alone.
Master Edgeworth, what are you running straight into a quagmire for? I thought you said you were busy and pursuit as a perfect truth. If that's the case, show me the perfect truth exists at all.
Don't worry, thanks to you I've already prepared myself to do just that.
There's no need to thank me. I'm simply doing what any good superior would.
I suppose you are.
Very well then. I'll show you the possibility of a different murder weapon.
Objection!
Okay, still not that then. Fuck, okay.
Not the bat!
Confidence is like a soul, and words without confidence are but empty shells. We've seen that one. Get on with it.
Objection!
No. Drawing a complete blank.
Objection!
Oh boy. Wiki oh wiki, show me the way. Stupid, 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 stupid.
Hold it!
Completely forgot that this was here. If you believe there is no other door of possibility left to open, allow me to force one open for you. And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon? I hate to repeat myself, but my men already searched every last inch of the embassy. They conclude nothing else could have been used as the weapon. Knowing these facts, you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Of course, because it's not possible your men inspected everything in an investigation. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games. I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. You know, if I just fucking clicked it straight away, I would have known exactly what the fucking answer was just from that alone. I need to go to fucking bed. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed the Master Second, what exactly is it?
Take that!
The National Treasure of Alabast. You mean the Primadou statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it, which I believe means neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? You know very well if we did that to be an international incident between the Kingdom and the Republic. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined.
Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction of the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different. There's only one conclusion I can draw from that.
Go look for Ambassador Alba and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue.
Sifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. He's most definitely trying to trick you. Sifu, please, let's be rational about this.
Langzi says, just go already.
Yes, sir. Shifu,
Yeah?
I'm really sorry, sir. I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Primadou statue.
I see.
Wait! Since the investigation's at a standstill. Agent Lang, I've got to speak with the ambassador personally.
Save your breath. He may act weak and fail, but the old man's a tough cookie. I guess you gotta be tough when you're representing a whole country, you know?
Agent Lang,
What do you want? Just hurry up and examine the statue already.
Sifu, what about causing an international incident?
Quiet! I'll take the fall if we have to later.
Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine. If someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me.
Responsibility? If we're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then, less talk, more investigating.
If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminol test on the statue.
Luminol test? Good thinking. If the statue's the murder weapon, some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay! Let's get the forensics team in here. Oh, would you look at that? Looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. Guess this means this is the real weapon that killed the Master Second.
Indeed.
I wouldn't celebrate just yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. Doesn't prove you didn't kill the Master Second, so the charge remains.
We're hardly done examining this statue, Agent Lang. Knowing it is the real murder weapon, I believe further examination is required.
You think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. Fingerprints.
With his sword drawn and ready, there's a certain aura of valor around him.
Langzi says those who hold a sword hold an equally strong will. It said the weapon one holds reflects the strength and will of one's character.
I wonder if this was created as a show of the country's majesty.
Oh, what does Franzi's whip say about her character?
It says I'm ready to enact punishment on those who would break the law.
Why are you glaring at me? I thought you understood I'm not the killer.
I believe in your case she wishes to exact punishment before anything else happens.
Ugh. What do we have here? This dirty smudge. It looks like a handprint.
And I'm willing to bet that handprint is of a certain kind of ink.
What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we've got some fingerprints to analyse.
Worst case scenario, the prints belong to Larry. But it looks too late for me to do anything about that now.
Forensics guy, I want results on these fingerprints ASAP, you hear?
Agent Lang, I have the forensics analysis, sir.
Good, and?
About the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. You know the victim of the murder in the Bangladesh embassy? The prints belong to him, Mr. Manikoshin, sir.
But that's... What's going on around here?
No, that's impossible. Each Primadou statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But the very fact Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. This statue is actually Babahal's Primadou statue.
Impossible! It can't be!
Aye! Larry never once set foot on Babaleshi soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an Anabalesian knife in Babahal, and Damask too was killed on Abalesian soil with a Balhaus national treasure. The mystery of the great thief Yagataratsu who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form.